What's going on, y'all? Happy New Year! Happy 2026! Oh my gosh, it's been almost 2 months. My bad. It's your girl D Green 2.0. Welcome back to my channel. Much love to all of y'all. And let's get the elephant out of the room. I do apologize. It has been 2 months since I have provided you all a recap, but I have good reason for that. There's been a lot of motion, a lot of good positive motion going on in my life, a few stressful events, but that's just, the negative supernatural trying to get into the way of the divine progress. So I'm not even going to stress too much about that, but lots of good things have been going on. Before I get into it about that with you all, let me just remind you, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, because once you do subscribe, you're able to be notified whenever I upload a video. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started to talk about what's been going on. So I'll go ahead and put it out there. Last video I physically uploaded, and it wasn't even a Potomac video. It was a Beverly Hills video, which I'm also behind on that too. But was December 24th. Last video I uploaded for Potomac was December 15th. It is now February 8th. And I'm not watching the Super Bowl, so I figured I would take the advantage, take the time of this opportunity while I'm not watching it to deliver this to you, because in the spirit of continuity, out of respect for my subscribers and for myself, because this is something that I'm doing for myself as well. While I'm not going to give you an episodic review, I am going to review the episodes in this recap, but it's not much, guys, because I'm very disappointed in these ladies. Okay, I am. So, but let me just share some good news. So going back to December 24th, I said it was when I last did a recap. So I was in Ohio with family, spent Christmas there, had a blast, enjoyed myself, much needed rest, had a lot of creative energy while I was there, came up with a business concept that God worked with me, we're going to put into fruition. Already started ordering the supplies, created the LLC for that. So your girl was like, do. That's one thing. Daughter's excellent, made beta club, been on AB honor roll all school year. Good for her, right? Finally hired a property manager. She's going to help me with both my properties, kind of relieve me of the stress, because I've been trying to do it all. And quite frankly, I'm tired of that shit, because I'm still trying to balance my job. I have a corporate job, which things are going well with that. I was able to finish that client deliverable, but work's been, but things good there. Y'all know that ex I've talked to y'all about a few times here and there. He and I have reconnected. We're not back together, but we are okay with the idea of love. And we know that we are in love with each other. And, you do you over there. I'm going to do me over here. And if we come back together, we'll make it work. But everything's good with that. And then finally got moving with the Midtown living. So remember how I told you all I wanted to move into a luxury apartment so I could have that restart with my daughter? Well, I applied, got into the community that I want, and my move-in date is March 15th. So lots of motion. Oh, and then I'm flying out to California on Saturday to go to the Cardi B concert that my sister wants to go to. And we're going to all just make memories. It's going to be myself, my two sisters, and then my little sister's friend, and then my mom. So, but yeah, that's what's been going on with me. So I've had a lot of positive motion, right? Like God, the universe, everything's been moving well in my life. So good that I have had to be honest with myself when it comes to the show and like sitting down and investing energy into it. You all could already tell, because I was very vocal about me beginning to become frustrated with the show, because the immature level of drama and the storyline they're trying to drive. Like, let's talk about it for a little bit, okay? So, like, the two targets, Stacy, Angel. Y'all know I think that's stupid, because the reasoning for wanting to attack Stacy, if none of them were liars in their own right, I would say, okay, I understand your frustration with her. But you all lie to some degree. I've even said that. Giselle, you are actively on the show not revealing what's going on with their relationship. And while I give you grace because I understand that, to move the way that you do with so much conviction to hold Stacey accountable, that's what's frustrating to me. Then you've got Angel. Them trying to paint Angel out to be broke. Her getting evicted, really? Catfish, really? Like, it's like the level of, it's like, what are we, 25-year-old girls? We're all grown-ass women with college degrees, most of us on this cast, with the exception of Angel and Kiarna, I think, and Ashley. Anyway, you all are well-to-do. You can't come up with better drama than the stuff that y'all been doing. And then, like, it's just, I haven't been on here, y'all, recapping, but I've been keeping up. Then you've got these interviews coming out after the whole situation with Ashley and Jackson, Sharice's son, former Potomac housewife Sharice, and just the attitudes behind it and the way they're managing it on the network, and, like, you know, the way Giselle is able to get away with so much stuff that came out. Sharice Jordan did an interview with Carlos King, and she just revealed a lot of, like, production hacks that us as viewers always suspected. Like, we always suspected that, you know, production, the network, was protecting Giselle. We always knew that the storylines and the drama most of the time were manufactured. We always knew that. But when she's telling us all of this stuff in the interview, I'm thinking back and I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, like, Giselle, why do they protect her like this? Like, what is it about Giselle that deserves so much protection? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because she is, I guess, what Carlos would call a force multiplier, meaning she keeps the mess going. But the creativity, the intellect, the charm, Giselle does not appeal to me in that way. It's Karen for me on this show. Now, Karen's a mess. Okay, Karen's a drunk. She's been hiding some stuff, you know, emotionally. The things that she went through, you know, she's been coping with some trauma in her own way. She talked about this in the sit-down interview she had with Andy. But overall, the way Karen handles herself on the show, she commands respect. She's not juvenile the way Giselle is. And so, given that they've kind of put Giselle in this queen bee position by default because Karen's not there, I had hope that with Giselle kind of having to stand on her own as, you know, a leader in the group, that she would handle that role with care and would take better care of, I guess, the show's legacy. But the drama you choose to foster up, eviction, when you all know, we all know, we're all not dumb. We know this lady was renting a house to film the show. But because y'all don't want to break the fourth wall and you're lacking creativity, you come up with the fact that she was evicted as a storyline. You're trying to expose this woman for financial deficits, right? You're trying to paint a picture. Giselle, aren't you dealing with well, at that time you were dealing with a case in courts that has some financial aspects tied to it. And then Ashley, you're pushing the narrative that she was evicted and she's having money issues. But your mother has dealt with financial issues. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm just disconnected from just the story and what they're choosing to cherry pick for us and highlight for us so that we can be entertained. I'm not feeling it. And so what I thought I would also do is kind of read the episode, like their little synopses that they have, and then I would converse about each lady in the episode. Oh my God, y'all. And then I got another phone. So I got the iPhone 17. You know, Xfinity got me to sign up. It's my business line. So I got this phone I'm recording on is my former phone. This one is my newer phone. I use it to pull up notes, but that's why you're hearing all the noise, because everybody's texting me about Cardi B, y'all, performing. But yeah, so I thought I would go down that road because honestly, I did have notes for the episodes, but I'm not even going to do that because I don't even really expect this to be over an hour. And yes, I am going to discuss my feelings and thoughts on all episodes. Last one y'all got the review, Lisa's Giddy Up, that was episode 11. Well, y'all, we got hold on, let me pull it up real quick. Give me a minute, okay? Okay, so we got episode 12, episode 13, episode 14, episode 15, episode 16, and then episode 17. So that is, I'll do y'all justice, y'all. It is 7 episodes, but I'll be quick. I promise, okay? All right, so episode 12, that one was called the Potomac and Ponies Party or whatever, right? So the little description reads, Ashley reconnects with an old flame at the Potomac and Ponies Family Fun Day. Kiarna and Greg celebrate a milestone moment. Tia seeks to repair her relationship with her half-sister. Wendy's attempt to make peace with her father sparks a blowout. So let me go in order of, I guess, severity with these descriptors. Let's see. Okay. So Tia seeks to repair her relationship with her half-sister. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, let me recall. So this is the one where Tia, she takes the sister. Yes, they sit down, they talk, they go to the house, they take the pictures. Not much there. I like that she is trying her best to be intentional with, you know, carrying on their father's legacy through her sister, sharing it together, and not holding any like ill will towards the sister, because the story is kind of shady. Dad was fooling around, you know, had a second family, and so Tia, you know, she admitted she didn't want to have to, you know, choose a side. So the only side to choose was the right side in her eyes, which was mom, which means she lost the relationship with her other siblings. So the fact that she's carrying that on, I do respect that. You know, families, dynamics, that shit can be hard. So I appreciate that. Then let's see, you got Kiarna and Greg celebrate a milestone moment. So if I'm not mistaken, this is after Greg was shopping for rings with Kay's mother and Angel at the store, and then he decided to, I guess, not get the ring, but get her a picture frame instead and invite her to move back in. And I believe they're still going to purchase the condo. I'm not quite sure on that last part yet. So when it comes to Kiarna and Greg and the speed of their relationship, you do what makes you happy. Yes, mom, I get it. I would definitely push my daughter to shoot for the ring. Do not settle for anything less if that's what she wants. Okay? Now, the thing about Kiarna that's confusing, and I think this is where the mother instinct is coming in on her mother's end, is that Kiarna does want to be married. Now, why she wants to be married, that's probably what Kiarna has started to assess, and she's, you know, made some adjustments. But the mom wants to make sure that Kiarna is not settling on something that she wants. And Kiarna's saying, no, it wasn't that we didn't get married. It was that I wasn't happy. And so now she's starting to find happiness again in her relationship, and they're moving at their own pace. And so, I mean, what can you say to that, right? Let people be grown. Okay, so Ashley reconnects with an old flame at the Potomac and Ponies Family Fun Day. First of all, old flame indicates there was some sort of romance. I don't know. That's just the way I see shit. But Jackson is not an old flame, you old raggedy hoe ass girl. I don't know. My intention was not to insult Ashley. But you know, I had a lot of feelings behind that. Okay. I was all over the place with that because I'm a woman of the world. I understand psychology. I understand human sexuality. I understand the intricacies of interconnected relationships. I understand the responsibilities you have for people within that village of your relationship. Let me just get to what I'm saying. So the controversy behind that is Ashley sleeping with a friend of hers' son. Is it predatory? One can say yes. It can be viewed as predatory. And the reason I say yes is because Ashley has been around Sharice's son when he was underage, and Ashley was overage, okay? Grew up, both of them lived a little life, hormones kicked in, things shade. Ashley switched into a cougar, slept with him. A little strange for me because of Ashley and the way she's handling it. Also a little strange for me because the predatory aspect of it, in that's like me hooking up with one of my friend's sons, because I got a little cougar in me, But even me, I would know the responsibility I have for them, and I would look at them more like my son and not as someone that I want to sleep with. But then you also add in that interview that Sharice gave to Carlos King, because what I got from that interview was Ashley and Sharice, they're really not as close as you would think. So when it comes to the respectability politics and that between the two of them, I could see how the lines could be murky, because how close are y'all really? Like, when I'm talking about my friend's son, this is my friend, okay? This is my homegirl. Me and this girl didn't cry together. We didn't travel together. That's my homegirl. Our kids are close, right? So in turn, I am close with her son. Ashley, Sharice, and Jackson may not have that same relationship. And they're both of age. It's just one of those things, right? Where the players involved really can shape the narrative, even though the narrative may have a theme that is controversial, or across the board you may judge it one way. Really, when you look at players involved, even though the topic may be the same, the outlook and the experience could be totally different. So that old flame, I was like, okay, whatever. And then I know there were some like parts in the episode I made notes on that I thought were funny. Like, for example, when Sharice walked over to Timo and Stacy, and she was talking to Stacy or whatever, and Stacy was looking at her like, why are you here, type of thing. So stuff like that. But it's been so much time in between these episodes, y'all. I don't want to spend a lot of time on each episode, so that's why I'm doing it in this way. So we get to the last point, and this is where I was like, Wendy's attempt to make peace with her father sparks a blowout. So I'm going to give you my real opinion of how I felt in December at the time when I watched the episode. There's a lot going on with that. There's a lot. And I found myself looking at that situation from a multitude of lenses. As a Black woman, as now a single mother, as the child of a single mother who watched her mother struggle, okay? But then also as a wife and a mother myself who wants to break generational curses. And that is what I did. My husband died, so you can imagine I was very conflicted when I was watching that scene. So what happens in that scene is you have Wendy's mother and sister come over to her house to check out the renovations. In that same episode, Wendy reached out to her father, who, they've had a distant relationship. They haven't really seen each other. They're over at the house, admiring the renovations. Wendy brings up that she called her father. And she is coming from a place of, I am trying to mend this relationship with my father. And I get it, he was fucked up, but you can't choose your family. And she's entitled to that as a child. Just because things did not work out for you, Miss Sue, with the husband, and you ended up having to raise Ivy and Wendy on your own, Wendy, that's not her responsibility to bear the burden of that and bear the weight of that choice, okay? You chose that man, remember, to be the father of your children. Wendy didn't choose that man to be her father. Okay? But I also understand Wendy's mother's position in why are you bringing this up? This is a pain point for me as a woman. This is your show. This is your show. Don't bring my shit up as fodder. Okay? This is a pain point for me. You do need to heal, Miss Sue, but I'm going to throw you a bone because that show is Real Housewives of Potomac. And yeah, they have to tell parts of their story. But if parts of their story bleed over into your own personal life and you're in the scene with them and then you're triggered by whatever they're talking about, you have every right to draw a boundary. So I've had time to reflect on what my initial thoughts were, because my initial thoughts, I was like, Wendy's mama is fucking toxic. This is the issues with these bitter ass baby mamas. Why does this go on in our community? I get it. These men ain't shit, but why should we be training them to hate their dad? Like, I went through it all. Then I had to calm down and break it down from all of my lenses, because I have many layers to me as a woman. So that scene was tough though. I felt bad for all of them. I understood Wendy, kicking her mom out, trying to protect her kids. I understood Wendy's mom going off. I understood Ivy. I understood Eddie trying to protect. Like, it was chaotic all around. So I felt really bad though, because I've read Wendy's book, so I know her situation, growing up and feeling like she always had to do things to make her mother happy. And so, when your identity is tethered to the expectation of someone on you, you're always going to be at war with yourself. So I hope she has finally, well, given what she's going through, I pray she has finally detached herself from her mother's expectation of her, because she's a grown woman. Wendy, you're 41. Okay. All right. So, and that was that episode. So then we get to episode 13. This one was called Altitude with Attitude. So, I like the way they set this up. This is AI. Key plot points. Let's see. Okay, let's read this first. The Real Housewives of Potomac season 10, episode 13, Altitude with Attitude, sorry. Focuses on the lead up to the group's trip to Colorado, hosted by Angel as she prepares to move. Key events include Tia's emotional visit to her childhood home. Also, what happened in that episode? Oops. Monique's book launch, where she reveals a binder that causes conflict between Angel and Ashley. And general tension as the women prepare for the trip, with Angel setting expectations for the getaway. So yeah, so this is the one where, like they said, Monique, hosted her binder party. Each person got assigned a binder, and then in their binder, they each had a tab for like a page for each woman or whatever. So they were supposed to write what they felt. And Ashley called Stacey, I guess, hard to read and chaotic, but nurturing and fun to hang around, or something like that. Giselle shady ass didn't put anything for Stacey. Ashley called Angel a catfish or something and doesn't stand her truth. So it was a shady moment meant to, pay homage to Monique's big moment at the season 5 reunion. So not a lot of chaos erupted from that. Only Angel kind of starting to show, like, look, bitch, back up off me. Stop with this shit. Basically telling Ashley, if I'm so much of a catfish and not living in my truth, you may want to revisit coming to my house. So yeah, Monique was in her bag, promoting her book. Let's see. Let me see if I can get back to the key points, because this one I'm a little foggy on. Oh, okay, so this is in childhood home. Giving a commencement. Oh, okay, so yeah, Wendy opens up with a commencement speech. Yada yada yada. Okay, yeah. Wendy, Ashley, Giselle meet for lunch. She doesn't want to discuss the fight with her mother. They talk about the Colorado trip. Blah 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 blah. Oh, this party. So yeah, Ashley, another person bringing on your family stuff for entertainment for us. Like, we know your mom has a relationship with the 8-shit-ass drunk nigga, okay? Well, he ain't a nigga. He is a nigga, because he's an ignorant person. We know he's an addict or an alcoholic. We know all of this. We know your mother's had issues. We know she left you with your grandparents. We know. I don't like that now this is starting to affect Ashley's sister, because there was an episode where Ashley's sister, who is the daughter of this man, got emotional about her situation because it directly affects her now. Ashley, you've gotten out of it. So I don't like that she keeps bringing that up, because while I don't agree with Ashley's mother, I do agree with the simple respect of just humanity. Everybody wants their privacy and their life respected, whether you agree with how it's going down or not. Respect my life and don't throw my shit out here on your television show because you don't have a storyline. Because we all see what's going on, Ashley. You ain't got nothing going on, so you bring your mom stuff in it, and I'm not in agreement with it. So let's see. Well, hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, she ripped out the page. Yeah, so they're all flying out, getting ready to go to Colorado. Now I'll read my note on this one because I did like this, but that moment didn't last for long. But I did appreciate it when it happened. So when they all got to Colorado, it's revealed that Angel has placed the ladies in a different house. That's like an hour away from her house or whatever. And in this house, she has Giselle, Ashley, Wendy, Stacy, and Monique, right? And then she's got, oh, and Jossie. Jossie came too. And then she's got Tia and Kiarna staying at her house. Sorry. I had a foggy moment. Y'all know what it is? I watched these episodes during the time when they aired, and I wrote the notes on them. So it's like it's coming back to me. And I didn't rewatch them before I started recapping these episodes with y'all. So, but anywho, so they all get to the house, and so Angel, tired of Giselle and Ashley's pile on, because she sees she's caught on now to the mean girl energy they've been putting out. She tells them, because at Monique's binder party, when Angel called Ashley out for what she put in her binder about her, when Angel told Ashley, well, you don't have to come to my house if you feel this way about me. And then Giselle made a comment like, well, if my girl ain't coming, I ain't coming, right? So what Angel did is she's like, well, because I knew you didn't want to come on this trip without your girl, I thought I would put y'all two together in a room. And she put them in a room with two twin beds. Giselle was pissed, of course. Ashley, But I thought back to season 1 when Ashley did the same thing to Giselle and Robin. And the AC wasn't working in their room. So it was like a full circle moment. And I felt good for Angel. I was like, good for you. Close the curtain on them bitches, like Miss Patti LaBelle said. Shit. But of course, that didn't last long. That little boss move she pulled. All right, so let's get to the next episode. We are on episode 14. Okay. So episode 14, that one was called High and Dry. So High and Dry features the women continuing their Colorado trip, where drama erupts over their accommodations, particularly issues with water and the host Angel. The episode includes a welcome mixer, Monique comparing her life to Angel's, and chaos as the guest house girls face problems with their lodging, leaving them feeling abandoned. A major point of contention is a rumor about Angel's finances, which Wendy brings up, leading to a heated confrontation. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm like. This is when the shit, and it was already starting to get to me. This is where it's like, for real? Y'all heard whose name I said revealing Angel's financial issues, right? Y'all heard the name? Y'all want me to repeat the name? Wendy, okay? When I tell y'all, I was like, I know they fucking like, for real? Wendy, you got the nerve to be discussing this woman's financial shit when you know what you got going on in the background? You know. Now, this was filmed July 2025. Yeah, 2025. The shit about Wendy came out in October of 2025. You committed the crime in April of 2024. Okay? So you know. You got some sort of connection with what's going on with your financial shit, right? So for you to be the person to bring to the forefront, and mind you, I'm pretty sure Ashley and Giselle are connected in on this because those three seem to be the Heathers of Potomac for season 10. You're bringing this woman's financial issues up knowing what you got going on. Y'all know that like pissed me off, right? So that's where I was like, is she for real? And then you say a realtor? Like, why would you even bring the realtor to the forefront? Like, it was all stupid to me because it's like, okay, so now you're going to just cost this person potentially their career because you willy-nilly want to manufacture some drama. You over here playing, saying that this woman disclosed this lady's financial information to her and you're using this as fodder? This is not funny to me. Not as a 41-year-old woman. Then, I don't know. It's just the way they're acting. Like they're, okay. So the house situation. Let me go through the notes because that. Okay, so Angel could have found a house a lot closer because it does disrupt their potential to bond. Because let's face it, that's inconvenient. That's like equivalent to, for my Atlanta and my California folks. That's equivalent for my California people, San Diego to Temecula. Okay? For my Atlanta people, that's Austell to maybe like Lawrenceville or something shit. But you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I understood their frustration on that. Why would you book us out all the way from you, like an hour away from you, when the point of us coming out here is for a girls' trip to have an experience with you? Wouldn't you want to have us closer? Only for us to hear and learn, but not really know for sure that production was the one that put them in this house. So then there's that too. So I'm hearing all of this backstory. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this shit because if production did set this woman up to look like a bad host, because that's what I've been hearing in the interviews. Angel's put some interviews out too. She says that when it comes to that house, she was actually originally going to put the ladies in the Four Seasons because she felt it made more sense. Production opted for a house. Now, as far as everything that went on with the house, honestly, like production, no one's really going to know when you're renting a place, like what the accommodations are like. But if you know that y'all worked with Angel and then you countered her suggestion only for you to use the accommodations against her when you know that wasn't her original idea, that's diabolical in itself. And then Monique mentioned that production does help with the trips because when she hosted the trip to France season 3, production worked with her. And so she made sure to do it that way because she knew her name was on it. So she said Angel could have did better with this. But I don't know, Monique. There's that too, y'all, because y'all know I was very enthused about Monique coming back, right? Bigged her up and everything. There's letdown with that. I don't know what happened with Monique. I don't know if she was like, okay, let me sell my soul to the devil so I can promote this book. But there's just the disconnect for me with Monique. Like, for her to project, because she mentioned something about Angel and Bobby, Angel's husband, like she notices some similarities between her and Chris. No, Monique, you had a marriage of convenience. You were not in love with Chris. Y'all did not have a good friendship. Not what it looks like. Like, I can tell that Bobby and Angel are attracted to each other. They're in love. There's chemistry, the way they look at each other. So the spirit of their marriage is not going to be the same as yours. The only similarities y'all have is y'all both married men in the NFL. But you going through what you've gone through and now you're projecting, that's not cool. And then if you are healed, you know you are supposed to, well, it's not even supposed to, because who am I, right? But when you come from a place of healing, you usually, your viewpoint is not as jaded, right? You can bring up things that are jaded, but your viewpoint and how you deliver things and just the way you move is not jaded. Like if you cared so much, for example, and you're healed and enlightened, Monique, you could have pulled Angel aside and been like, girl, I want to talk to you. Can we have a sister to sister moment? This way you and her could have connected. How you did it, it looks like now you're palling on. Now you're throwing shit out there so that you can become a part of this Angel pal on. And I don't like it. I don't like it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it was just the direction of, like, what is going on with this plot? Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So let me see. So high and dry, and accommodations. Oh, so they're complaining because, okay, at the house. So at the house, there were issues. Water was acting up. That's not good. I would be mad about that too. It smelled. I'd be mad about that too. So the ladies had legitimate arguments with Angel at that point, because my thing is while there may be that backstory of production having a hand in it, at that point, Angel, it is your trip. You should be following up with these ladies. You should be calling them. You should be checking in with them to make sure they're good. Jossie should not be the source of information, because Angel found out through Jossie, because she's texting Jossie only, that the ladies were disappointed about the accommodations at the house. So Angel, you could have done your part to be a more proactive and engaged host and really show that you were trying to connect with the ladies, but you didn't do that because that's not what you were trying to do. So I don't know, man. Oh, speaking of Chris and Monique. So Monique reveals at one point in one of the episodes, it's all fusing together at this point, sorry y'all, that it got back to Chris that Monique was discussing Chris, and she was just curious as to who did it, because now it's starting to have legal ramifications. So that's why she thought it was Stacy that did it. And it's like, well, honestly, at this point, it really don't even fucking matter. It could be anybody. Chris is messy. We see he talks to Charisse. We now know he talks to Ashley too. You got Cookie, Kay in the background. It could have been anybody. You can't just say it's Stacy. But anyway, so yeah, what was that episode? Let's see. Let's get to the next one. What's this? Oh, okay. I'm looking at stuff on Thread, y'all. Let me see. What is this? Oh. Oh, the Super Bowl. Okay, let's get back to it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. All right, so next episode 15. So the rocky road to sisterhood. Okay, here we go. So it says the group's Colorado trip continuing with the day trip to Aspen, marked by conflict over accommodation and Angel's hosting, while Monique comments on Angel's personal life and Giselle tries to take over as a host. The episode focuses on the escalating tension with Angel, who faces criticism for her trip planning and personal choices, leading to a confrontation that pushes her to her limit. And I don't know, maybe I'm evolving, y'all. Maybe I'm evolving. I was just not entertained by that. Giselle, how fucking dare you? You just started hosting. You got one good trip this season. Nevis was a good trip. But you act like you are hosting Beverly Hills level type trips. I'm gonna have to take over as a girl. If you don't sit your natural yellow ass down, stop. And then Angel not really standing her ground, but I mean at that point is probably network involved now. So maybe because we've learned through these episodes and these interviews that production protects Giselle. So that's why I'm like all over the place, y'all. Because there's just like so much stimulation, so many things I'm taking into account when I'm watching what they're doing on screen. Because I'm watching Giselle and I understand, trust me, I understand the frustration. But the audacity of her to be as pushy as she is towards this woman, say, I'm taking over your trip. Who the fuck are you? We are grown women. My husband's a whole former NFL player. We got millions, portfolios. I got 2 kids. I'm breastfeeding. I'm a grown-ass woman. Then I'm getting irritated with Angel because then I go back to that I'm not a rookie woman. This was, oh my God, this was a rookie moment for you. You let Giselle son you. And this is what trips me out about Giselle having this power. I don't understand what it is that allows for her to continue to get away with this. I really don't. I don't understand the appeal. I don't understand why these women don't fight her back. Like Candace would fight her back. Karen we love Karen because of how she fights Giselle back. Like these women seem to, and I'm going to get into my whole me being black in America sociological outlook bag right now. But what I see is Giselle represents proximity to whiteness, success for those women. And those women want to have a spot so bad on that show. And with her also having that sorority mindset because she was a part of AKA, she was a line sister. She brings that element of we groupthink here, but I'm the person in charge. I'm the only one that's allowed to have a thought different from anyone else. And if y'all aren't following my thought processes, then we're going to have some issues. Even if my thought process is wrong, I'm the person that's up top. And so I feel like the network uses her to get away with anything that they potentially think a white woman would do to these black women. So I think they protect Giselle because Giselle does the dirty work that is politically incorrect, that they know no white woman can come on this show and do, but Giselle is the closest thing for us. So let's use her and let's protect her. Let's let her get away with whatever the hell she wants. And nobody is made the wiser. Show keeps going, ratings fluctuate, and nobody can say anything. And when you think about the talent that's been on that show, to give that one person that much power, I think that is what's really starting to hit me. Because it's not a fair playing field. It's not leveled. Candace, by far, was not one of my favorite housewives. Couldn't stand her ass. However, when it comes to what a housewife represents, Candace had it. The tenacity, the balls, the wits, the look, the marriage, the money. And you can break her down all you want and say, well, her husband is this and this comes with this. It doesn't matter. All of those checkpoints, all of those criteria points that make a housewife, Candace had it. But for some reason, the network didn't really give a shit about Candace. And then when she went against Giselle, it was like, as soon as she went against Giselle, it got harder for her. Wendy, it's always been hard for her. And I feel like Wendy has a substantial story. Well, how come y'all aren't protecting her like that? So I don't know. I feel like Giselle's hyped up a little too much for my taste because I just don't see the allure to her. She's a gorgeous woman, but she's not witty enough for me. I love a clever housewife. She doesn't stand on business when she should. Because she was standing on business in this episode because it was shitty what she did, but I understood the principle behind what she did. She's like, oh, you want to come in here acting like an asshole and make us suffer? Okay, well, let me big dog you so I can give her a little bit with that. But, no, Giselle, you're not, she's not all that. And when you have Karen next to her, now that's why I like Karen. Karen is witty. Karen commands respect. Karen's wise. Karen's grown. Karen is a mess. But Karen don't pull the shit that Giselle does. And I feel like the season would have been a lot different, especially for Angel and like the people coming up in the group. Karen would have tried to help them, and that's another reason why I think me as a woman, I'm drawn to Karen too, is because she does have that wisdom and that covering of an elder sister or an auntie. You feel safe with her. You feel like there's that maturity that helps you, move in this environment that you don't necessarily have coming in as a novice housewife. Giselle, on the other hand, it's like, I like you, but it's every man for himself here. And I don't know, I just don't like that about Giselle, because I also know that Giselle's a former first lady. I expect more from her, and what I don't get from her, it's like she doesn't look like what I would expect her to act like, type of thing. So I don't know. That was a lot. Just the season's gone downhill, y'all. In a nutshell, that's what it boils down to for me. So the rocky road to sisterhood. So in that episode, let me see. Drives off of misinformation, discussing Angel. Oh, okay, yeah. So Angel's talking about how they thrive off of misinformation regarding her, and she's right, because they're being bitches. It gets back to Angel that Monique was critiquing her marriage, and so Angel doesn't like that. And I do like how Angel draws a boundary with Monique when Monique is kind of trying to push herself in there. Because I think in this same episode where the women were being hosted at Angel's house, a party at her house, and they're staying at that house. So they wanted Angel to go back and hang out with them at the house, sorry. And she says she might go. She'll have to check in with Bobby first. And then Monique's like, oh, he's just being a dad. It ain't no problem. And Angel's like, no, that's not how it works over here. I do respect that, because that's what I'm talking about. Two different types of energies in the marriages. Yes, Monique, that is their father. It is not babysitting. But in a healthy relationship, you check in with the person, you regard them. Because us women are always quick to be upset when a man ain't regarding us and thinking about us and checking in with us. This game can give me a heart attack. We just got a touchdown. Oh, I told you I'm getting all the text messages. But, oh yeah, so anywho. So, yes, so I hear you, but they have a relationship where they respect each other, and she is going to check in with her husband, regardless if he may not have any plans. That was not the plan they discussed. That's not where he left off in understanding what was going to happen for the rest of the night. So if she has to check in with her husband, she has to check in with her husband, because it's called respect. But you see what I'm saying? Even that type of shit, the stuff that's going on in this dynamic of women. Here you got all these women, and it seems like maybe Angel, Stacy, and I'll even say freaking Kiana to some degree. Everybody's in relationships. Everybody seems to be happy, respectful of their relationships. So the three who are not, well, Giselle, you are in a relationship, you're just hiding it. But don't make negative comments on her relationship. especially when you don't know what's going on, and then you're trying to paint her husband out to be this violent, negative man, right? Because he doesn't grovel to y'all, because he knows what y'all are doing to his wife. He knows he's not being fake with y'all. I don't know, y'all. This is becoming problematic. Because then there's also that, the whole attacking husbands and husbands not want to be on the show. It's like, y'all gotta, when it comes down to the formula for Potomac, y'all need to reinvent it. And y'all really need to sit down with these ladies and say, come up with something new. Because we could potentially be losing really good talent because they don't want to come on this show, given the antics that we've allowed to happen. So we may need to switch it up a little bit. I mean, y'all didn't notice that when they were at the Preakness, was it the First Lady of Maryland, how she didn't even want her name and likeness seen on that show? That should tell you something. Because like that type of stuff with the husband bashing, that doesn't really happen much on Beverly Hills. And I'm a little bit more sensitive to it when it comes to this show, because these are Black men also. And so you're allowing the negative narrative of Black men within relationships to be perpetuated on this show, and you guys are the ones perpetuating it when you have Black children. And don't get me started on the state of Black relationships nowadays, because I can converse about that based on my experience. But the fact that y'all allow this shit, it's like it's getting old. It's getting old. So anyway, let me see. Also in the episode, so Mauricio, so Kyle's husband, from Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they're separated and they frequent Aspen a lot. They actually have a home in Aspen. So Mauricio happened to be out there because his daughter was having a bachelorette party. So Angel, as a part of the trip as well, she takes the women to Aspen and they bump into Mauricio while they're there. You have Ashley and Stacy flirting hard and heavy. Well, more so Ashley. Stacy was just being the wing woman, trying to figure out how she can hook them up. And then you got Giselle saying, no, we're not doing this. Kyle is connected to us. We're not going to cross that boundary. But then here you are in the confessional saying that you would sleep with Mauricio, but you don't want to do that. So I don't know. It was just like, then there's that. Who are you to get in the way of Ashley and Mauricio hooking up? Like, I'm just like, this show, like, y'all really got this lady thinking she is the Alpha and the Omega. Oh, and a side note, this is only day 2, and so much has happened on this trip. All right, so driving on empty. So this is the last day of the Colorado trip. As the Colorado trip comes to an end, the ladies are racing against the clock to make it to their final excursion, but things don't go as planned after Angel takes a wrong turn. So long story short, Angel scheduled for the women to do all of these activities. Mind you, this is their last day of the trip, right? Their flights leave it was like 5 hours after they announced initially when they were going to be doing all of this, their start to their day or whatever. They only have 5 hours to do all this stuff and get to the airport. Let me just give you some geographical relevance, right? The airport from Angel's house is about an hour or so, I think. The ladies are staying an hour away from Angel. The airport is an hour and a half or 2 hours away from where they're going for the fly fishing event. They're all spread out. There's no central location that they're close enough to even feel comfortable. They don't all have their luggage to get to the airport after, okay? And then Angel's driving in a whole different direction while they're, driving to the location. The people prepared the food, the experience for them. They never got there. It was a mess. And at this point, I really couldn't defend Angel. It's like, oh girl, yeah, you just fucked up all around. Like you, like who logistically, like I would not have coordinated for them to go fly fishing day 3. I would have had them maybe do that day 1 or day 2. What it was is I think Angel was trying to promote her business, and she probably didn't really think it through as to how to lay out the plans. I will give Angel grace in trying to understand the brain fog, because I currently go through that right now, and I went through a little bit of it pregnant, postpartum, and I'm going through a little bit of perimenopausal brain fog. So I'm gonna say Angel's probably got a lot of brain fog going on, because this is not the first time in this season we've seen missteps. Okay. But that's human nature. I get it. When you're spread like that, you got two young kids, you guys are, I guess you could say bi-coastal, because they're two different coasts, West Coast, East Coast. And it seems to be Angel as the person that runs the house and Bobby funds the house. So you're always on. And so when it comes to you adding in new energy drainers, well, because you want to become friends with them, you want to build something, but any resource that you pour into building something is going to take from another resource. So you're trying to build a friendship with them, and then you got all this stuff going on, so you're not going to be at your best. And yes, you got staff that helps you, but again, you're not going to be at your best. So I'll give her that. But it didn't really look good. I don't know if Giselle put a bug in production's ear to edit Angel negatively. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot of weird shit going on. And given all the interviews and everything that's been coming out, it's hard for me to look at this show and tell myself and say to myself, what's real, what's not real, what's funny, what's not funny, what's entertainment, what's not entertainment. Like, do I even really still like this show? And I honestly, I don't think I do. Y'all, but growth is a beautiful thing, right? I've evolved, so. And yeah, so they end that not on a good note. Shenanigans all throughout the episode. It was crazy. I'm almost at the hour, so I just want to give myself the last 2.5 minutes to talk about Karen's sit-down interview and, next up. So episode 17, newly released from prison, Karen Huger sits down for a no-holds-barred interview with Andy Cohen to discuss what led to her arrest, the realities of prison life, and what's in store for her future. So at the beginning of this season, Karen was released from prison. We didn't see her. We just heard her. The top of this episode, same thing. So it's picking up where they left off when they picked her up at the beginning of the season. They take her home. They have a little, conversation, talking. Karen says she wants to go take a shower. She says that she was loved in prison so much that the prison mates didn't want her to go home, looking busted. So they gave her their hair to braid. Like, it was surreal seeing Karen like that. But the interview, Karen mentioned that, she had some addiction issues. She didn't get to really cope with her grape because she was assaulted in college, and she's been emotionally stunted from that since then. She's been navigating through life, but she's been suppressing herself with substances. And so, I understood that. Honestly, I didn't watch the full interview. I just know, what she talked about, and I'm just glad she's back. I'm glad she's healthy. She's did her time. She understands now that her choices come from trauma, as most of our choices do when we don't make peace with them. And so, yeah. That is my summary of episodes 12 through 17. I am going to watch the reunion. I am going to close out with some continuity there. And I am going to watch it episode by episode. So you will have the episodic recap style like we had before with the season. But I'm sorry, y'all, for episodes 12 through 17. This is what I had to give you. I think I'm safe to say that we probably agree that this show is going to shit. But season 10, it was a bust. Well, season 11 may be better. We got a lot of material. Lots of material. Wendy's situation, Karen's back. I don't even know if Angel's gonna come back. Stacy, I'd like to see how that rocks out, with her, Timo, Karen, Wendy, all that stuff. Okay, girl. Jossie, I'm good on you too. Tia, I'm good on you too. So like, yeah, like I started out this season too, like very happy and excited about certain people, only for all of that to change. So, oh, and Monique, I'm willing to give you a second chance only because you're a vet. But I didn't like the way you finished off either. All right, y'all. On that note, I'm gonna end it here. I really don't have any much more to say about the season. Let's just see how this reunion goes. If you're watching Super Bowl, I hope your team won. Go Kendrick. I say go Kendrick because I was talking to my daughter and I was telling her, because she's like, you're not watching the Super Bowl? I said, no. I said, I don't watch it for the football. I only watch it for the musical performances. And I asked her, I said, remember the last 2 Super Bowls you saw me watch? Who performed in them? Kendrick. So that's why I watched Super Bowl 4 is for the music, and I wasn't interested this year. So anywho, love y'all. Thank you for rocking with me. I hope you forgive me. I hope we are well caught up. Okay. And yeah, look for my Beverly Hills episodes because I will be recapping those as well. I am behind, but I will be caught up before hopefully by this weekend, because I'll be flying out this weekend. So fingers crossed. Got a lot of shit going on, so I can only do so much. All right, y'all, I'm gonna leave you. Peace and blessings. Take care. And again, Happy New Year. May you be prosperous and achieve everything you set your heart out for this year, okay? All right, peace and blessings. Bye, y'all.